All right, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Racha Kodesh. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And it's going to be a brief lesson, but through the Spirit, I wanted to just go into a little topic dealing with the revelations of this present time. Okay? And what I mean by that is, I was meditating on how, which Apostle Tahar, he says this a lot about how we know more now than the men of old did, okay, than like the prophets of the past. Although you had certain particular men that were given great revelations, a lot of these men that were given like I said, a lot of these men, right? Because there were some exceptions, but a lot of these men that were given these visions of, in past time, though they saw, right, they saw a lot more things, they didn't understand those things. All right. And the Lord set it up that way because a lot of the things that they saw, it was gonna manifest thousands of years, or hundreds of years down the line. So of course they wouldn't understand those things, and the way the Lord showed them those visions was through similitudes, right? Because there's, like, for example, what John saw, a lot of things he saw when he wrote, he was told to write down what he saw, and a lot of things he wrote down were things he actually saw, like the woman and the beast. Because think about it. If John saw, there's certain scenes where he would actually seen the buildings and everything, but in the scenes where he writes down about a woman that's sitting on a scarlet colored beast, right? We know what that represents or what it means today. But John, when he saw that woman, he actually saw a woman. He didn't see America and just wrote a woman. And he didn't see a conglomerate of nations, a power structure, and then said and wrote beast. Because he would have wrote, if he saw in the verses where he wrote a woman, if he didn't see an actual woman, he wouldn't have wrote that. He would have wrote what he saw, buildings, this, right, a city. And in some verses, he writes it down as a city. Nevertheless, the Lord showed these visions to these men in this format, in this way. So a lot of the men of old, yeah, they saw and received visions, some more detailed than others, okay? But in this time, the Lord is bringing out the revelation and the understanding of a lot of these things, a lot of these dark sayings in the scriptures, a lot of these prophecies that are coming to pass, okay? And so this is the book of 2nd Ezra chapter 6, verse 18. It says, "And it said, Behold, the days come that I will begin to draw nigh and to visit them that dwell upon the earth." And we are in those days now, the days of the visitation, all right, of the powers, the visitation of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai upon the earth. So it says here, and of them, right? It says, what they be that have hurt unjustly with their unrighteousness, and when the affliction of Zion shall be fulfilled. So now, when you have, of course, these Edomites, right? But then you also have at the same time these wicked Israelites, these heathens, okay, all of them included. And in Inquisition, the Lord is basically like, you hear about like the Spanish Inquisition, where in certain instances they would go and pretty much like almost go door to door and find you and make sure that you weren't doing whatever it is that they were inquiring about, or that you were doing whatever it is that they were inquiring about. So when you go to like the history of the Jews that were over there in, I forget exactly where it was, I think it might have been in Spain, where they weren't allowed to be Jews anymore. So they had to be crypto Jews, which you could look that up. Pretty much a Jew inwardly, a Jew that doesn't, profess your faith outwardly, because then you could be reprimanded for that, right? If not put to death. So they would make inquisition to find out who is a Jew and who is not. Okay? And so what's the Lord going to do? The Lord is going to make inquisition in this time, right? The scriptures say that I will search Jerusalem with candles, right? And punish the men that are settled on their lease. See, so when that time comes, which is now, and that's why all the things are going on now, because how does the Lord stir up these things? Through us, right? Through men, through people on the earth. There's a saying, the Lord works in mysterious ways, okay? In mysterious ways, meaning that the ways of the Lord are so far out, but he uses people on the earth, messengers, to accomplish certain tasks, okay? And so for certain information to come out, hey, when you look at the history, when you look in the scriptures, a lot of information and situations and things came out by way of controversy, right? The Jerusalem Council, you know, a lot of the things that they had to go through in the New Testament in order for more revelations or more understandings or the ministry to expand, it was controversial. When Peter went to Cornelius and did what he did, following the Spirit, when he came back, they were ready to tear his ass to pieces, you know? So he had to stop them before they even opened their mouths. Like, wait, hold on a second. Let me explain what happened, you know? Before y'all go all wild and shit, you know? So it was always something, because, like, I always give this example of a mixture, a concoction, right? That's in a cup of water. You pour something in a cup of water, and then it settles to the bottom, right? So after a period of time, after so long, it just settles all to the bottom, whether it's sugar or whatever it is. And then, if you want to really get out the true color or the true taste of something like that, then you got to what? You got to stir it up from the bottom up and get all whatever's been settled. You stir it back up into the drink. Okay, so that's what's going on, and everything going on is bringing out more and more information. Okay, to edify, to mark, to condemn, to seal. So it says, verse 20, and when the world that shall begin to vanish away shall be finished, then will I show these tokens. The books shall be opened before the firmament, and they shall see all together. And that's what's happening right now. The books are being opened. Right now, it's an example, all right? Because the understanding of the scriptures is being given forth through the men of the Lord, and is going out to the four corners of the earth via the satellites that are in the firmament that are passing on this connection, okay? So, as you see now, like I wrote, the revelations of this present time, now we are actually starting to see the details of the prophecies, right? We're starting to get the detailed understanding to an extent of certain scriptures and certain, you know, writings and hard sayings and dark sayings in the scriptures, okay? And that's because everything is set for an appointed time. But now is the time when the Lord is revealing all these things, because now is we're in the last time, the last days. So now let's get let's see. Give me 1 second. All right, this is the book of 1 John chapter 2, verse 20. It says, but ye have an unction from the Holy One, and ye know all things. Because the words that are written in here, these are the same words. The words are the same. The words remain the same. They've been like this for thousands, well, let me just say hundreds of years, right? But it's the understanding of these words, okay? So first off, in order to know all things, like it says, you have an unction from the Holy One, and you know all things. So the Lord has to open up your mind and your eyes to not only be able to understand what's been written, okay, but to be able to receive the hard sayings. Because there's some people that they can understand certain portions of the scriptures, you know, but certain things are just too hard for them to receive, because it's one thing to understand the scriptures, but it's also one thing to believe the scriptures. And you have a lot of people that may understand the scriptures, or they may know certain parts of the Bible, but they don't believe the words that are written in the scriptures. They don't accept the words that are written in the scriptures. You see? So you may break it down to them, But because they don't agree or they don't accept it, they'll act as though they don't understand it, and they can't receive it. That's why the Lord at times will say, if you can receive it. Okay, if you can receive it. In order to receive it, the Lord needs to open up a certain portion of your mind. He needs to give you a certain level of faith. That's where the receiving comes in, because there's knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, but it's your faith that'll allow you to receive that knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. And if you don't have that faith, then you won't be able to receive it. So you may know, well, what does this verse say? Well, this verse says that this is what's going to happen. They're going to bring this MOTB. They're going to put it inside people. If you take it, this is the judgment that's coming for you. Oh, okay. I see. I don't believe it, though. See? So I see what it means now. Now I understand what it means when it says, and he calls it, and he does this, and he does that. But I don't believe that. See? So they may understand it, but they just may not have faith to believe it. All right. So being in this truth is more than one. You got to have more than one thing. It's not just, oh, well, I know a ton of precepts. That's not just knowing precepts alone was not going to get you delivered, because it's supposed to set off a chain reaction. You're supposed to know, and then you're supposed to, what does the scripture say? I believe, therefore I have spoken. Something along those lines. See, so your belief or your exposure to the truth, and then your understanding of it, and then your belief in it is supposed to set off a chain reaction, okay, to get you to follow the path that is, being set for you. Nevertheless, this is the book of Ecclesiasticus, or Sirach, chapter 39, verse 1. Because the understanding and the revelation didn't just come by you doing whatever you wanted to do. No, and you see who it came to. All right, men that, let me read this. Sirach 39 and 1. But he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High, and is occupied in the meditation thereof, will seek out the wisdom of all the ancient, and will be occupied in prophecy. So that's why we are always harping on prophecy. That's why we are always doing videos. You may call it a quota, you may call it whatever you want, but no, it shows that we are occupied in the meditation of the law of the Lord. Okay? And in that sense, meaning the whole book. Okay? Meaning all the words of the Lord. And we are occupied in prophecies. And it is those individuals that are seeking the Lord, those are the ones he's gonna be found of. Okay? Verse 2, it says he will keep the sayings of the renowned men. Right? So and where are those sayings written? They're written in the scriptures. So when you read these words, you got to actually do them. So apparently it says Biden will deploy 3,000 troops to, let me see this. So it says Biden will deploy more than 3,000 troops to bolster the defense of NATO and whatnot over there. So, I mean, I thought he said he wasn't going to send anybody over there, but now, hey, once again, we're still in the midst of that prophecy being fulfilled. Wars and rumors of wars. All right, so man, I mean, we're living in some exciting times. We're literally living in after this, right? Which this year could be it. It could be next year. We hope and pray it's this year. But say we were to go with it being this year, right? Just for example's sake, if the Lord was to have all these prophecies get fulfilled this year, then that means that in less than 12 months, everything as it is right now is going to be completely changed. And I mean, it's going to do a complete 180. No more of these buildings, no more of these, the way this thing is, everything is going to be different. Okay? And we're going to see some real things that you wouldn't believe lest it was shown you, and even after seeing, it's hard to believe. All right? And our lives are going to be completely different. We ain't going to be sitting here doing sit-downs in cars, or living in whack-ass neighborhoods. No. And it can all happen in that quickly. See, when you think of all those things happening, all of a sudden 11 months doesn't seem far. Okay? But these are the last prophecies that we're hearing the war drums of them. These are the war drums of the last prophecies. And we're hearing them. And it's getting louder and louder and louder. Okay? Because after wars and rumors of wars comes the little in between, and then the actual destruction. So we're pretty much here, man. Anyway, back in Ecclesiasticus 39 verse 2, he will keep the sayings of the renowned men, and where subtle parables are, he will be there also. Okay, because he will be seeking what? That understanding. Verse 3, he will seek out the secrets of grave sentences and be conversant in dark parables, by way of studying, by way of making supplication, by way of praying and fasting, and by way of diligence. Because those dark sayings and those dark parables are in the scriptures. As a matter of fact, when we talk amongst each other, and even when we do certain videos, that's an example of us being conversant in dark parables. Because we have certain conversations that somebody that's on the outside would not understand at all. All right? Because here it is, I may start talking, to somebody, a brother, that's in the truth, and we're talking, and we may be in public, right? And we're talking amongst each other, and, something may come up, and we may start talking, hey, well, that's the charagma right there. But that's why the Lord said in Revelation 3, yep, that's it. And the way we speak, we understand each other, and we're speaking according to the scriptures, and we're quoting scriptures left and right. And sometimes you may just start paraphrasing the scripture, and you may not even have to finish it, and the next brother already knows what you're talking about. So the way we speak is with an understanding that is not known or common to this world. Therefore, it's likened unto a dark parable. There's certain things we mention and we talk of that are written in the scriptures that a lot of people don't even know. So it says, Slakia. Let me just move up. Give him some space for a second. There we go. Utilize the space you need. All right. Let's go back to where we were. Right. So to the people that are not within, it's dark. They don't understand it. Okay. Now it says here, verse 4, he shall serve among great men and appear before princes. Because what path did those men take to become great? The same path that we're taking now. Why? Because we're those same men coming back. People were made great by having their heart towards Yahweh B'Ashem Yahushai, because he is the one that makes you great, and he is the one that abases you. So if you are made great, everybody that is great, that was great, that we know about according to the scriptures, they followed a certain pattern, and that pattern was keeping their faith and their trust and walking after the ways of Yahweh B'Ashem Yahushai. That's how they were made great. So we will also serve among great men, because where did the great men serve? They served in the court of Yahweh B'Ashem Yahushai. So how will we join them? By following in the same footsteps. It says, and appear before princes, he would travel through strange countries, for he hath tried the good and the evil among men. Because you're able to do that after a while in this truth through what? Experience. And you gain discernment. Verse 5, he will give his heart to resort early to the Lord that made him, and will pray before the Most High, and will open his mouth in prayer and make supplication for his sins. When the great Lord will, he shall be filled with what? The spirit of understanding. And now the Lord is willing for us to be filled with that spirit of understanding, to understand these mysteries that have been hidden for ages. Right? They've been hidden for a long time, but now we understand them and we're bringing it forth. And that's why everybody's being drawn to the Hebrew Israelites. They're being drawn to the understanding, the true doctrine of Yahweh B'Ashem Yahushai in one way or another. All right? Whether they're being drawn to come and disagree and be marked, or to come and be sealed. But this word is revolutionizing the world, because there hasn't been anything like it in this present time. And what bugs a lot of people is that such heavy revelations came by what they would see as common men. All right. It says, verse 6, when the great Lord will, he shall be filled with the spirit of understanding. He shall pour out wise he shall pour out, damn, where am I at? Yeah, wise sentences and give thanks unto the Lord in his prayer. Yeah, he shall, and why do you think the Lord loved King David so much? Why do you think it said he was a man after the Most High's heart? Because he, even though he went off and he was still a man, you know, his heart, his mind was in the right place according to the way the Lord wanted it to. Meaning the instinct of King David in terms of what to do, whether he was in trouble, whether he was in victory, whether he was in sorrow, he instinctively sought the Lord always. All right. He gave glory and honor and praise to the Lord. You know, everything he did was, you know, for the most part, seeking from the Lord. And that's why he walked after the Lord's heart. Meaning everything he did was based on what he would have inquired from the Lord. So he would know, okay, I should do this or I shouldn't do this. And then in certain things where he did of his, you know, when the Lord put a certain spirit on him to do that, it led to him, you know, certain consequences. All right, certain actions happening. So it says, and the Lord loves that. When you give him the glory and the praise, you know, when you know, when you don't, even if somebody is complimenting you or praising you, and in your mind you're praising the Lord, or even outwardly you're praising the Lord loves that when you redirect it to him. And when you redirect it to him, what is he going to do? He's going to keep making you greater, because he knows that this guy, whenever, you know, whatever I do using him, he always lets it be known that I'm the author. Okay? So I'm going to do even greater things with him so others can see my work, can see my power. That's why the Lord does these things, is to show his power. All right. So it says here, verse 7, he shall direct his counsel and knowledge, and in his secrets he shall meditate. He shall shew forth that which he hath learned, and shall glory in the law of the covenant of the Lord. Many shall commend his understanding, and so long as the world endureth, it shall not be blotted out. His memorial shall not depart away, and his name shall live from generation to generation. All right. Why? Because he gave his heart, all right, his mind onto the Lord. And in doing so, the Lord what? Raised him up. The Lord revealed many things unto him. The Lord did many great works by his hand. Okay? Because he is one that gave his mind onto the Lord. And so in this time, the Lord has or is bringing forth revelations and more revelations. All right? And as time goes on, more and more things are going to come out. All right? And the world is going to get even more controversial. And things are going to get even crazier because the Lord is turning everything up. That includes the prophecies. That includes the people. That includes the spirits. You know, that includes everything. All right? So pretty much, man, buckle up and get ready, because the Lord is about to, you know, he's about to take all the bans, all the restrictions. He's about to take all that off. And the rawness of it all is going to come out to the forefront. All right? The rawness of the scriptures, the rawness of prophecy, the rawness and realness of the world is all coming out. All right? Because this is the last time. All right? So anyway, with that, I'm going to end it here. Lord willing, you've been edified. The water for the precepts, you know. And in closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Wadash. Until next time, Shalom.